Hey guys, this is Jeff from UnleashThePhones.com, and here's a quick look at the HTC Desire X. It's a mid-range phone with a WVGA LCD display. It's quite nice looking. It has a dual-core 1 GHz processor underneath, and at the back you have this very cool design with a 5 megapixel camera and a single LED flash. You also have Beats audio built in. So yeah, it's a pretty nice looking phone. I would say it's one of the best looking mid-range phones out there right now. So yeah, the HTC Desire X is a very nice little phone. It's very comfy to hold because of the curve at the back. It's got these on-screen buttons here, which is typical with HTC's 2012 range. At the side you have a micro USB port right there. A nice little curve right over here, and you have these volume keys which work really well, and a little screen lock and power key right there. The buttons are pretty okay, but they're a little hard to find and use, a little hard to press as well, which is something you'll notice right from day one. You also have a standard 3.5mm audio jack right there to plug in a pair of headphones. So yeah, it's a pretty standard mid-range phone from that aspect. I did notice though that the back panel does get a little bit dirty, so you might need a case for this, but it is really good build quality. It's very impressive. HTC's really done a good job with their build quality this time around, and it really shows. At the front you have a Super LCD 2 panel, which is really nice. It's at 480 by 800 pixels, which isn't that great resolution nowadays, but it is decent. The colors, as you can see, are very bright and very vivid. It's actually pretty good for an LCD panel, and it's also worth mentioning that the viewing angles are really nice. You can see from some really extreme angles with no color degradation at all, so it is really one of the best screens I've used in this price range. It's also very bright, which is pretty good. You run Android 4.0 ICS right here, and you have HTC Sense version 4.1 on it, which is pretty good. It brings a lot of nice little software enhancements aboard. It is very pretty as well. It's not as nice to some people as stock Android, but I do think that the interface is very pleasing to use, and you have some very cool widgets like the HTC weather widget right there. Underneath this you have a dual core low-grade-ish Snapdragon S4 processor, which is pretty average in benchmarks, but it does do a really good job of running things. You can start up an app really quickly, as you can see right there, and everything works pretty well, even under a lot of stress from some very intensive games. So yeah, it is quite nice, and you can just swipe to close things right there because it runs ICS. So yeah, the UI is really nice and fast, and there's no lag as such. Coming to the web browser, you will notice a little bit of lag in the web browser. It's not too bad. It just occurs when you try to zoom in or zoom out. I don't think it's that big a deal, but it is noticeable. Otherwise it loads pretty fast, and works as well as you expect the standard Android ICS browser to work. You can also install Chrome because, like I said, it runs ICS out of the box, which is pretty nice. Also worth noting is that the messaging field is pretty much what you're used to, but the Android onboard keyboard is really nice on the Desire X. It is really easy to use because it is portable enough to hold in your hand, and it gets better in landscape. So yeah, that's also worth noting. And coming to the camera, which is easily my favorite part of any device, you have a basic set of features right there, like turning the LCD, the flash at the back on or off. You can also shoot at different resolutions. You get 5 megapixels out of the box, and yeah, you also have various scene modes and HDR modes, and if you tap this button right here, you can choose different effects as well. So yeah, standard if you're used to an HTC phone released in 2012. So good stuff there. You can also shoot video while taking a video. You can also take a picture, which is pretty cool, and is a standard feature of ICS. I like that. Of course, you can only shoot at a maximum 480 by 800 pixels, which isn't really much, unfortunately. I'm just going to try and show you that right now. It is widescreen though, but it's not much. When you're used to 720p at least in devices nowadays, it's a bit of a downer, but it's not too bad. Coming to the music player, you have a standard HTC music player which does the job pretty well. You can sort your music by artists, album, songs, or playlists. It does the job. The video player is also pretty okay, but like I said, it is limited to just videos in 800 by 480 pixels, which is very limiting out of the box, and you can't play high definition stuff at all. So yeah, I think that's about it. Coming to call quality, you have pretty decent call quality. It's not great, but it is above average compared to most devices. You also have a 1650 mAh battery underneath, which lasts easily over a day. So yeah, to conclude, I guess you won't really regret buying this device because it is a really nice mid-range little phone. It looks really nice, it's really sleek to hold in your hand as well, and it is really good build quality as well. The only things I don't like are, like I said, the volume keys, which are a little annoying to find and use and press, like so. It's also worth noting that the fact that you can only record video and play video at 480 by 800 pixels is a bit of a downer, and there's also no front-facing camera, which is a bummer if you want to make a lot of video calls, but it is a very solid mid-range device. The only alternatives would include the more expensive Sony Xperia P or the HTC One V, which I still think is a better package overall. But yeah, that's a quick review of the HTC Desire X. If you guys have any questions at all, let me know over in the comment section below, or check out the full review over at unleashthephones.com.